Hey guys, this is John, and I haven't been very active in my creative world lately. Um, so I've had kind of a lull in videos, but mainly because I'm kind of waiting for, you know, like certain Minecraft updates, like maybe fixing shulker box breaking and things like that. And don't mind my big towers here. But anyway, uh, so I wanted to make a video about something that I've uh, kind of realized for a while, but I just finally got around to actually making some test with it to see what was actually going on. And so that relates to fishing and fishing times. Okay, so I had a suspicion that whenever you fish with a water or with a actual fish in the water, that your rates are much faster. And I kind of figured this out just by, experience. I don't know how many updates ago, but I mean, it was a while ago that I kind of figured it out. Um, because every time I would be fishing, like in an ocean or a river, whatever, I'd cast it in, and if there were no fish, it would take forever. But then as soon as the fish spawned in and swam in front of me, then I'd just be catching and catching and catching. So I wanted to run some tests and see what actually happened because we don't have any information about this in the wiki. It just talks about the lure enchantment increasing the fishing rate and, like being in rain, whatever, which I haven't seen much difference when I fish in the rain, so I just didn't even include that in the test. But so we're going to have uh, four different scenarios here. So the first two relate to just a plain fishing rod. So like early game, if you're, just starting off fishing, um, and the next test relates to having a god rod, which is the lure 3 enchantment. So the first test, all of the tests I did catching 40 items total, and I did them in sets of 10. I timed them in sets of 10 items, right? And that means, fishing, and then as soon as it strikes, throwing it back in. Okay, so consecutive fishing. So of course the plain rod, 40 items. The total fishing time to catch 40 items was 13 minutes and 36 seconds. So it's kind of a whopper, just takes forever. So the average time per 10 items was 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So plain rod takes a long time. We all know that. So next, plain rod with a fish in the water. And what I mean by having a fish in the water is actually catching a fish and, putting it inside the same water that you are fishing out of, right? So I just filled this with water and then put the fence in there to prevent the fish from swimming directly in front of me so I didn't, you know, actually snag him or anything, right? Like that, which is always kind of a pain. And I'll just go over the times first. But so the total time with the fish in the water is 4 minutes and 46 seconds. So if you look at the difference, we got 13 and a half minutes and we got 4.5 minutes, basically. So total average for 10 items was 1 minute and 11 seconds. So just by including a fish in the water, you're looking at an increase of, I mean, it's what, a third as long, right? So that's a pretty big rise in fishing, as far as the rate goes. So next with the god rod, so fishing with the god rod in the plain water, 40 items, total time was 6 minutes and 52 seconds. So if you look at the time with the plain rod, with the fish in the water, it's actually 2 minutes faster than with a lure 3 rod with no fish in the water. Okay, so that just shows you how much of a dramatic increase this has in the fishing rate just by putting a fish in the water. Um, so average time for 10 items was 1 minute and 43 seconds. And the next guide rod with a fish in the water, the fastest time of all, was 3 minutes and 29 seconds for a total of 40 items. Average per 10 items was 52 seconds. So of course it's always going to help to have the enchanted rod, but you can see now with the fish in the water, uh, it makes such a huge difference between even, with the Lure 3 rod. So of course this is, like if you're out in the plains or, some other biome where you don't have a river or, don't have any access to anything with fish, then, you know, I would definitely go out and get a bucket of fish from somewhere and just put a fish in the water, and that way you can uh, really increase the rate that you're fishing. Um, and of course, I didn't test this with the rain because I don't see that that makes much difference. And one thing that I was wondering about, but I didn't actually go through the testing was, do the fish actually have to be in the same water body, like in the same water source blocks, or could they just be, off to the side, right? So that I didn't go through and test. But, this is obviously going to be just one of the easiest ways to set up a little fishing pond or something, right? And finally, so I did test this with an Afk Fisher. So this is Silent Whisper's newest Afk Fisher. And I didn't go through the entire set, but having the fish in the water does reflect the same fishing rate as what you're going to see here. So with a Lure 3 rod, you're still going to have a longer time without the fish, and then it's still going to be faster just by having a fish in the water, right? So definitely keep that in mind, even if you're going to be AFK fishing, because honestly, if you're going to be fishing for just say like 8 hours or something that you're going to have your PC running, then this is definitely going to help increase your rates, maybe by double, honestly. So, like I said, I didn't see anything like this in the wiki, so I just thought it would be good to spread this around because, I haven't seen anybody else go over this. Even with Silent Whisper, I haven't seen him talk about, increasing the rates by having a fish in the same water. So I think it would be definitely good to, let other people that play Bedrock know, because fishing is kind of important when you're early game, trying to get materials, or, one time I didn't even have any food and I had to go fishing to actually get food. So anyway, that was all, and hope this helps some people out. So thank you for watching.